Hey guys, what's up? It's Kevin for the win. We're back for another edition of Wrestling Empire. Today on the channel, we're going to be taking a look at career mode, which is something people wanted to see a little bit of. I don't believe I'm going to play career mode a whole bunch on the channel. I'm really just doing it to unlock the rest of the roster. I have about like 15 to 20 wrestlers who aren't unlocked as of yet. I did do the entire AAW roster, which is basically the AEW roster, off stream. Now I'm in Strong Style Wrestling, which is supposed to be the equivalent of ECW Wrestling. For those who are not familiar with Wrestling Empire, it is basically a homage to N64 wrestling games such as WCW NWO Revenge, WCW World Tour, and, of course, WWF No Mercy. All the wrestlers in this game are basically knockoffs of real wrestlers, such as Stunner Stu and Arthur Price. Stunner Stu is actually Badass Billy Gunn, and Arthur Price would be Steven Ringle. As I mentioned in the previous installment where I gave kind of a bit of a mini review of Wrestling Empire, you can actually go and edit the wrestlers' attires to be what they actually would normally look like, minus the logos, as well as edit their names, so you could actually have it say Badass Billy Gunn or Steven Regal. It'll take you quite a bit of work, as there's over 300 plus wrestlers in the game. Basically, in career mode, you work your way up as you get constantly signed to federation, trying to earn yourself title shots, trying to earn yourself world championship matches, and trying to get the best money deal possible. In this particular storyline that we got going on here, I have to beat this tag team if I want to earn a tag team title shot. Something to make note of when it comes to career mode for Wrestling Empire is sometimes in your contract you do not have creative control, which means you cannot decide what your outfit is, your entrance music, what moves you use. That's all decided on the booker. Sometimes you get a booker that likes you, sometimes you get a booker that hates you because maybe you had a wrestling feud with that booker in a different federation. Case in point here, I don't have control over the outfit or my name or my moves. The booker hates me, so I'm Major Asterisk. Yeah, that's a thing. Dressed in a ninja costume, because that makes absolutely perfect sense for that type of name. And I have, like, some of the worst moves possible in the game. But we're going to try to make it work so I can earn a tag team title shot. Now, even though this is a homage to the N64 titles, it goes a bit further in terms of the control scheme. You have a lot of grapples, so think of kind of like the grapple system of the old school WWE SmackDown games. Like Here Comes the Pain would probably be the best example of it, back when it wasn't so complicated but gave you a good plethora of moves that you could use. Unfortunately, because this is obviously not a licensed wrestling game, movesets at the moment are a bit limited. So there's German suplexes, powerbombs, sit-out powerbombs, crucifix bomb I've seen the F5, the FU as they would call it. I've seen arm drags, hip toss, pile drivers, pretty much the most basic wrestling moves. If you're looking for something like, not necessarily a Hurricanrana, because that's in the game, but let's say you're looking for, like, the blackout that Goldust used to use. Okay, we earned ourselves a tag team title shot there. We were able to put away Stunner Stu really quickly, so he must have had a lot of facial damage to him. But basically, when it comes to the wrestling in this game, it's pretty much one of those things where when you're doing grapple moves, I'm not 100% sure if you have to button mash to be able to do the submissions. It's very N64-ish, so like usually when they scream is when it's time for them to submit. They actually wave their hands, which is a nice little nuance they actually try to tap. When you win a match, it will give you some news for that week. So here you see that their statuses have not been affected by losing that pay-per-view match. However, my status effect has gone up. Oh, man, I require stitches here because I got facial damage. So I'm going to be nursing that wound for a week. Unfortunately, because of what is going on in this particular situation, and I don't have a contract with health insurance, I have to kind of mend my wound here. And, of course, since the booker hates me, he is asking me to referee a match. So this is going to be a unmitigated mess, to say the very least. That guy is supposed to be a honky tonk man kind of ripoff. So we have to referee a triple threat match here. Joel Harden is basically supposed to be Jeff Hardy. So that's what he's the equivalent for. Like I said, that guy over there, Gabriel, is his name, that just left the ring. That is Christian's knockoff. Gravitas, I'm not 100% sure who he's supposed to be. At first, I thought he was supposed to be Neville, a.k.a. Pac from AEW. But he doesn't have the full goatee going on, so I'm not really 100% sure as to who this is supposed to be. If you do know who he is, definitely let me know in the comment section. I will definitely be much appreciated. As I said before, tons of wrestler knockoffs, everything from AEW to WWE to New Japan Pro Wrestling, WCW, and even some Lucha Libre. So, very, very, very good wrestling title, kind of overlooked. It's not 100% perfect. There are a couple of hiccups in terms of the computer. I did get confirmation, actually, from the developer of the game, which is only one guy who developed this whole entire game, called M. Dickey, that there is going to be a free update coming roughly around next month, where that is going to add some elements to career mode. Like, if you destroy a whole bunch of area around the arena, you actually have to pay for the damages. I believe, don't 100% quote me on this, that they're going to be adding a couple more moves to it. Apparently, there's some wrestlers that are exclusively locked at the moment, and it has something to do with the release of another wrestling title that's coming out. That's another independent wrestling title called Retromania, which people who are wrestling fans will remember. That is a sequel, direct sequel to a arcade wrestling game that came out way, way back called WrestleFest. So that's the sequel, and that's coming out. And apparently there must be some type of cross-game promotional thing going on. So those characters are locked. I don't know if you'll have to buy Retromania to unlock them. Hopefully, that hopefully isn't going to be entirely the case, although I believe I'm probably going to pick up Retromania. It looks fun. Looks like a nice throwback to old Super Nintendo titles and Genesis ones. So also depends on the roster, too. I've seen the roster. The roster looks pretty decent with independent darlings. But I have to see a lot of gameplay before I make that decision. If you're still on the fence about this game, this is pretty much like one of those things where if you enjoy N64 wrestling games and you enjoy control scheme, very similar to WWE SmackDown Here Comes the Pain, although keep in mind your moveset is a little bit limited, but that kind of makes sense because even in the N64 days, you didn't have many, many unique moves. It was, you know, a bit basic, so to speak, in that regard. So that's kind of cool that they give a nice little throwback in that one. I would definitely recommend it. There's a lot of chaotic things you could do. There's a lot of match types that do appear even in career mode, like Furniture Smash, where it's basically a very exaggerated version of tables, ladders, and chairs, but, like, they have sometimes 2 tables stacked together on top of steel chairs. And then they have other times, like, bench match, where it's literally a park bench in the ring, so it's like the replacement for the tables. I've seen chair match where it's like office chairs, literally an office chair match. I've seen explosive matches where a whole bunch of TNT is all around the ring, and you have to basically watch your step and not a whole bunch of stuff explodes. I've had a referee have in his hand TNT trying to make the 1-2-3, and then it explodes. All right, so we were able to get the fast pin there. I'm trying to get my behind out of here. I got stitches on the face. I don't know why I'm refereeing this match. And, of course, that was not the right winner, which does happen. Sometimes the booker does not want a certain person to go over, and they will force the referee to restart the match. In this case, I'm unfortunately the special guest referee who is bleeding profusely from his face, freshly stitches. This is one of those situations where a wrestler would not be a special guest referee after having a match where it requires stitches. So that's some of the kooky nonsense that is available in Wrestling Empire's career mode. I will say career mode is has a lot of depth, although a lot of the storylines that you will see throughout it in terms of cutscenes appear quite a bit as you go from Federation to Federation to Federation to Federation to Federation. Trust me, you'll be doing it a lot. I'm like 10 years into the story or career mode, and I still haven't unlocked all the roster. You have to go through each roster unlocking people. The way you would unlock them is you have to actually be involved in a match with them, whether it's a tag team, a rumble match, battle royale, etc., etc. I'm going to just attack Gravitas, because I think Gravitas is the one that's supposed to lose the match, I hope. Just want this match to be over so I could get to the next part of career mode. So yeah, you know, those are pretty much what career mode's like. Like I say, some federations love you and will give you a good push. Sometimes you run into a booker that hates you, and they will really do things to ruin your push and your popularity. And one of the things is, if you don't have a lot of popularity as each week goes by, they will do things like the booker will be like, "Oh, you're not popular anymore. You're not worth signing." They will release you. They do release wrestlers from time to time. I've had it happen. Sometimes in career mode, our wrestlers will want to form a union, and then you have the option to actually unionize with them to get a better type of contract for you, or you can rat them out, kind of like how Hulk Hogan ratted out Jesse the Body Ventura when Jesse the Body Ventura wanted to do a union in WWF. Now, obviously, WWE it's called. So they've added a lot of things. The developer's only one developer who developed this whole entire game. Added a lot of that. I'd say in career mode, although a tad bit repetitive in certain elements, kind of hits it on the nail in terms of what it's really like in the wrestling business, which is nice to have a game kind of pull back the curtain and give us some elements to the business that other games wouldn't do, because you wouldn't see that type of stuff where you against the booker in WWE games or you against Fing. Obviously, WWE games as of late have been early terrible. WWE 2K18 is a great example. All right, we finally got through here. Joel Harden won. I don't know what you were refereeing, so now I'm in a feud apparently with Joel Harden. Or not Joel Harden, but Gabriel, which is knockoff Christian, basically. So, yeah, so there's a lot of elements in that retrospect. So, it's one of those things where, pretty good game. Not perfect. There are some little minor flaws. Like, sometimes you have a manager outside that will decide that they want to commit suicide and jump off things and hit their aerial moves on absolutely no opponent outside the arena, which is some of the oddest things. But I'm already, you start in 2020, and now I'm on 2030. I believe the way you're supposed to win. All right, so since we have a friend in high place, aka Mean Gene, who is Raven, basically, we get a little bit of perks to that. All right, Gravitas, his thing. So as you can see, this is the news thing, and it tells you when people leave certain federations, when they've gotten injured, when they've gotten killed. Okay, major asterisks. Have you considered changing the strikes in your arsenal? Now, I don't have any say in this because I don't have creative control, so I have to say, yes, I'll try some new strikes. Could be better strikes, could be worse strikes. Most of the time when the booker don't like you, he will give you terrible strikes. So, as you can see here, yes, there is good old Kamala is actually in here. Obviously, they don't call him that. They call him Congo. Since I'm injured, he was offering to sell me painkillers. Yes, this is some of the stuff that actually does happen in wrestling, and it is stuff that appears in the career mode. So, I have to give M. Dickey some credit in the fact that he really went an extra length to really make this feel like an actual wrestling career from the wrestler, actual performer perspective. All right, High Note is out of touch. That's the booker. Turn the other cheek. Aftershock, which is a.k.a. Earthquake. Sedusa, which is supposed to be Medusa. All right, so we were hoping to sign you to Super Lucha Libre, which is actually one I need to go to earn some of the rest of the wrestlers. However, because of the contract I'm signed currently, I am not allowed to sign with a different federation. I have to stay here all 17 weeks and play out the entire contract. And this is another thing that happens in career mode. If you have good friends, they will ask you for money. They will say that they are down in their finances and everything the sort and need a loan. Chances are they probably need drug money. Let's just put it out there, guys, because that's kind of something that happens in wrestling. All right. So we're doing a singles match in career mode. I'm wondering when the heck we're actually going to get our title shot here. So major asterisks. Mean Gene is escorting me to the ring. I guess he's one of my buddies now, so it's kind of like my manager, but I'm not having to pay him managerial fees, which is, I guess, pretty good. I'm a millionaire now, too. You start the game with no money, so you have to kind of work your way up. Or I think it's like $2,000 that they start you with. So this is Gabriel, a.k.a. Christian. Like I said, when you actually have the game and you've gone through story mode and you unlocked everybody, you can actually go on the roster, edit everything from their name to their moves to even the color of their attire. So if you don't like a certain color, case in point, there's a wrestler called Cable, which is really Kane. And he's basically Kane, but in a purple outfit. You could change the outfit to red and change his name to Kane. So that's good. One of the things that's really good about Wrestling Empire is the fact that there's a lot of freedom for you to do stuff. You can edit the ring, you can edit the ropes, you can edit the attires, you can edit the names, and you can basically have your dream N64 style wrestling game, Wrestling Federation. The only drawback right now, currently, is the fact that there is no online play. There is multiplayer via couch co-op. I believe you could do up to 4 people per system, but in the match options, you can have up to 20 people in a match. So I don't know if, in theory, you could have 20 Joy-Cons maybe connected to one Switch and actually play a 20-man battle royale. Now, based on the current times that we're living in, I can't get 20 friends together on a Switch with 20 Joy-Cons to test this out. So we perhaps will never know whether it is actually possible to connect 20 Joy-Cons and have 20 people. My guess is probably the maximum is going to be up to 4 to 8 players, probably. Highly likely, maybe just 4. But, yeah, and one of the cool little aspects about that is that you can play on a single Joy-Con. So let's say you're a family of, like, 2. Like, you have 2 kids, let's say, and you have only 1 Joy-Con. They can split, and it could be one person uses the left Joy-Con, and the other person uses the right Joy-Con, and the control scheme for those works fairly well, because since this is a very simplified control scheme for the most part, you don't have to worry about certain nuances, such as trying to get the pinfalls going and trying to do the moves, because you still have the triggers, so that works out there. I think we've pretty much decimated Gabriel here. Whoa, what the heck was that? He threw a wooden table into the ring and hit me, and that's my buddy. So, yeah, there's stuff like that does happen from time to time. Not all AI is created equal, clearly, in that retrospect. So that's, one of the little hiccups with the game. But sometimes those really crazy, over-the-top WTF moments happen, and you laugh. All right, we got the submission victory. So, keep count, this was my 8th victory in a row, dressed like a Japanese ninja with the name of Major Asterix. I don't know. This is like the terrible gimmick possible. Gabriel couldn't end my streak. Nobody else has what it takes. So I'm getting a little too big for my britches right now, thinking I'm like the man of this federation. Pretty cool. All right. Oh, I think I just punched the ref out. Oh, well. All right, Gabriel's status has not been affected by that match. Major Asterix's progress is being hindered by the limitations of strong style. So I'm no longer over. Yes, you have to stay being over with the crowd and the audience and the ratings. It's another layer to career mode for Wrestling Empire. All right, so I'm spending more money than I'm really making wrestling at Strong Style Wrestling. So hopefully, after these 17 weeks, I will be able to make a much cushier contract. By the end of the 17th week, I should have unlocked just about everybody in Strong Style Wrestling. Okay, Rupert Royal left to pursue our opportunities. Kamikani, which is basically Mick, Marvel, and Abysmal. Okay, that's Mankind. Defeated Marty McFly and Acme Boss. All right, Demento. Released by Federation Online. All right. Hey, Major Asterix, what do you think of your new hairstyle or style suggested? Well, I don't have an option. Even if I don't like it, he won't let me change it. So, all right, I'm going to have to rock this, I guess, rocker / bad boy from the tracks hairstyle. I guess that's my new gimmick here. All right, so I'm going to be playing against Trojan Force here. That sounds like the name of a condom, practically. So, yeah, I don't know, right? What's the name? I don't really know who Trojan Force is, really. I haven't encountered him in this game. All right, Major Asterix. At least I got Raven escorting me to the rink here, so we got one thing on our side right now. All right. Okay, and it looks like I've ditched the mask for Kabuki face paint. All right, Trojan Force. That looks kind of like Hollywood Hogan, except he doesn't have the bald spot for his hair. So, is this supposed to be Hollywood Hogan, or is this supposed to be Roman Reigns? No, I think if it were Roman Reigns, he wouldn't dress like Hollywood Hogan. I think this is like supposed to be the... No, this really looks like Hollywood Hogan. So, if I had... Well, Hollywood Hogan don't have tattoos, though. So who the heck is this supposed to be? If you know who Trojan Force is supposed to be in Wrestling Empire, definitely let me know in the comments. If you are enjoying this Wrestling Empire content, as I plan to do many more Wrestling Empire videos, hopefully next time that I am doing a video, it will be with the entire roster unlocked, so I can start a little project that I call the EWF, Empire Wrestling Federation, where it will be much more dramatically different than these type of playthroughs So definitely look out for that when that starts. If not, we'll be playing career mode yet again on the channel as I make my way trying to unlock the rest of the roster. If you are familiar with a surefire way to unlock the rest of the roster, give me your tips. Let me know. Uh-oh. Almost tried to suplex, or not suplex us there, but pile driver us. Have to definitely watch yourself here. I'm going to give him a good old 1-2 combination into a clothesline. Adrenaline, so we got our special. Just tap the control stick, or any button for that matter, and we will perform our special. We're going to do another one. All right. So they basically gave me the jackhammer now. All right, that's fine. It works for Goldberg, and Goldberg's terrible now. This worked for me. All right, Major Asterix has picked up another victory. We beat the Trojan Horse wrestler, who is either Hollywood Hogan or a very bad mix of Roman Reigns with Hollywood Hogan. So he took a loss. His popularity has gone down. Our progress is being hindered at the fact that we are too popular, I guess, because we're always winning. Sometimes if you win too much, they actually punish you. That's just one of the elements of career mode. So we're 4th week of July 2030. Definitely got to see here what we're going to do. Handle with care. Monica Marquez. Stamina has deteriorated considerably. Contract stipulates Splinter's salary has risen to $7,700 to match Vulture. Vulture is actually staying. Major Asterix has been booked to face Malcolm Soul in a singles match on the 4th week of July. All right, Super Lucha Libre really wants to sign us, but unfortunately, again, because we're in a contract that does not allow us to sign with another wrestling federation, we are prevented from doing so. Okay, so backstage segment. It looks like they are threatening us. They will let us walk by and not attack us if we give them $1,000, which is probably drug money. Here, have your drug money and get lost, Billy Gunn. How ironic that he's wearing an AAW shirt. Any coincidence there, perhaps? All right, so we are facing off right now for the Tag Team Championship. Can me and basically Raven, a.k.a. Mean Gene, win the Strong Style Wrestling Tag Team Championships? My goal is to hold a title in Strong Style Wrestling. I have held titles in just about every federation that I've been to, sometimes tag titles, sometimes world titles. I have even held the women's title one time that I beat a woman wrestler for it, and they stripped me right away. This is all the crazy stuff that happens when you're playing career mode, so definitely something to keep in mind. So if you like those silly, really silly stuff that happens in career mode sometimes, so it's kind of cool. Me and my kabuki makeup. Oh, I'm going to cut a promo. You may have won last time, Major Asterix, but one win doesn't mean anything in this business. Well, that is true. If anything, I know what to expect this time, and I won't allow the same thing to happen again. Oh, so you don't want us to beat you again. Okay. All right, bro. Oh, and the referee just threw the steel barrier into his face. What the? I guess we're getting a little outside help here. All right. Wait, my tag team partner is not me, Gene, so my tag team partner is Jerry Buckler, who is basically a Jeff Jarrett equivalent in Wrestling Empire. Okay. That is one of the problems sometimes with a Wrestling Empire's career mode. Like, sometimes a guy that's on your side that should be with you wrestling for the tag titles is not, and he's like your opponent. These are things, hopefully, that will be addressed in the very first free update, which should be going live not pretty soon, but they said within a month from the game's release. So, right now, we just we'll try our best to win these titles. I'm going to do like you should always do in a tag match and pretty much cut off one side of the ring, keep them to our side. Oh. Alright, running strike. Even my running strikes are bad now. Because the Booker has changed all my moves, I couldn't say no to it. At least we have belly to back suplex. Those are really good. You need that for when you're playing in Battle Royales, over the top Battle Royales. That's a useless downs move. Alright, put him in the finger 4. If it's good enough for Ric Flair, it's good enough for us. Uh-oh. Ric Flair is in the game. He was in Maple Leaf Wrestling when I encountered him. He's called Perry Reeves, I believe it was called. So, that's something. Alright, belly to back. Alright, got the cover here. Of course, my AI opponent is nowhere to make this... Try to at least save. Okay, well, I got adrenaline. Oh, okay. I just gave him a spear. Okay, let's see. I'm going to try to hit him with my finisher here. I'm going to go for the dragon suplex. Keep him outside the ring, Jerry, so we can win these titles. 2, 3. All right. We won the tag team championships. To be the man, you have to beat the man. But that's not how you took my title, Major Asher. Maybe you should tag yourself in, bro. You didn't tag yourself in. You're not the real champion, and you never will be until you defeat me. Somebody salty. All right, well, pretty much gonna do it for this installment of career mode. Unfortunately, we weren't able to unlock any new wrestlers to my calculations here, but we did win the Strong Style Wrestling Championship, the Tag Team Championship, so we are the champions now. Oh, yeah. And Malcolm Soul and Mean Gene's reputation has been damaged because they lost it. And Mean Gene is now a heel, which kind of makes sense for a Raven knockoff. How much money did we make off of that? None. We just spent more money. So we're going for broke right now. Easy come, easy go, as they say. So we're in the first week of August, but I'm going to put that on pause for now. And we will pick this back up perhaps in the next installment. Harry Harris feud with Major... Oh, wow, that is Brody Lee. Rest in peace, Brody Lee. Contract extension for Mascara. That's Sin Cara's knockoff. Free agent Alpha Male, which is Kenny Omega, has been released by Maple Leaf. And moving on, Especial has left wrestling school. Alright guys, thanks for watching. We'll be back in the future with another Wrestling Empire. Make sure to give this video a like and subscribe as they help the channel grow. And I will see you for the next episode.